I want to give all honor and glory and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone for teaching me this truth and sincerity. Citation to the hope for let that spread out the four corners of the earth. All right, so this lesson will be entitled, There's Order in This Ministry. Don't Step Out of Line. There's order in this truth or ministry. Don't step out of line. Right, so we're in the latter days, right, where you see, um, where you see there's the truth has been, the truth has been heard throughout the whole earth, right, throughout different countries. The truth has been heard, and you have brothers and sisters that is coming in this truth, and they think, and they somewhat whether they think they can teach, or that they get puffed up when they hear about this truth, right? Um, but you got to understand that there's order, right? There's order when you're in this truth. Don't be going, try to teach the elders above you or the apostles above you, right? Um, you got to stay in line, right? You can't every live stream you watch, you can't, just comment or message, right? Or put up scriptures. Sometimes you got to sit back and teach and question. Sometimes you got to sit back and just take notes and listen, right? All right, so there's you're gonna feel excited once hear about the truth, right? You're gonna feel a little bit excited, but you gotta balance that with humility, right? And you have to be, you can't be can't be overly too excited, right? Um, but I'm gonna bring out some scriptures because there's some things happening, right? And there prophecy is speeding up, and there's stuff that has been prophecy is being fulfilled, and they're talking about introducing a fair now system this month, so that can lead to the MOTB. But there's these, there needs to be a order that still needs to be maintained, right? Not only from from man, from both women and young men in the church, right? All right, so I got here 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3, and it reads, "But I will have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the Mosiah." Right, so that should be plain and simple, right? Um, you know, they just show that there's order between, Yahawah, YAHAWASHI, the man, and the woman, right? Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. And it reads, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud." Right. So, you know, you brothers, you young men, you newcomers in the church, you gotta be can't be all too proud, right? You have to be in a humble spirit, right? Don't go try to, you know, don't go try to teach when you first come into the truth, right? Sometimes you have to listen, and sometimes you have to take notes where you can understand it more. And you're in this truth is not meant for your whole family to receive it. Sometimes if you do tell your family, sometimes they might receive it and that's just a spirit, but sometimes they won't receive it, right? Isaiah chapter 2, verse 11 reads, "The lofty looks of man should be humble, and the haughtiness of man should be bowed down, and Yahweh Shah alone should be exalted in that day." Verse 12, "For the day of Yahweh Shah a host shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he should be bowed low, right? So, you know, alone, yeah, the only name that will be praised and the only glory, honor, and praise that will be going to is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? There won't be no, there because you have some Israelite that comes to the truth just to look good or just to be seen in front of men, right? There's a scripture that talk about that too. But you have just some people, you have some Israelite that come into this truth to be, seen in front of men, right? Um, and to get entertained. This truth is not for you to be entertained. This is serious what we're doing, right? When the latter days prophecies being fulfilled, and we do not have time for people getting Israelites getting out of line, or step out of line, right? There's order, right? There's order, and you can't live by those. You can't follow or live by those orders, and you gotta. And there's truth ain't for you, plain and simple. Sirach. This is Sirach chapter 32, verse. I also know as Ecclesiasticus chapter 32, verse 7, and it reads, speak, young man. Uh, go back. Speak, young man, if there be need of thee, and yet scarcely when thou art twice asked. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knows and yet holdeth his tongue correct. Because it's when you learn this truth, you're gonna get a lot of knowledge, right? You're gonna get it's like you're gonna be eating the whole honey, right? You're gonna be eating honey when you first enter the truth. You're gonna know a lot of stuff. You're gonna know about your heritage. You're gonna know about who the wicked is. You're gonna know about the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. You're gonna know a lot of things when you first enter this truth. But you have to you can't be when you're in public or you're around people who are not in the same ministry or who is not in the truth. You can't be speaking, you know, you can't be speaking a lot. You have to hold your tongue back, right? Verse 9 and it reads, if thou be among great men, make not thyself equal with them. And when ancient men are in place, use not many words, right? That goes to the apostles, right? Or the people or the elders or the elders that came before you. You can't be speaking like know everything to them, right? When they one who taught you this truth. You have to you have to you have to be quiet, right? You have to be quiet unless you are told you can speak. But you know they just sign of respect when you're in front of apostles or elders before you. Timothy had a precept with that. This is 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 17. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honors, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine, right? This is why we give we give double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone for teaching us this truth because they labor in this word and doctrine for longer than we have been alive. Um, I know Apostle Gabar, he's mentioned that he labored in the doctrine or word for 30 years or more than 30 years, right? So, those type of those type of leaders, type of elders and apostles are worthy adult owners, right? Because they haven't wavered in this truth since they been in it or since they knew about it, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 35, and they will learn anything that them as here. I'm gonna read it from top. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34. Let your woman keep in silence in church, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, also as also says the law. Correct. So the women are not supposed to teach, and you have a lot of women that are proclaimed to be prophets or prophetesses or teacher in the truth. As I mentioned on my video, the law are still in effect. You women are not supposed to be teaching. You're supposed to be quiet, you know. And if your husband don't know the truth, you're supposed to be um. Actually, I'm gonna read verse 35. And if they will learn anything, let them as their husbands at home, for it's a shame for women to speak in the church. So if you have a husband that don't know this truth, right, then you're supposed to be learning from the apostles and elders of great millstones, right? But you're not supposed to be try to teach the elders and apostles of great millstone. You're supposed to be no, you ain't supposed to post up any scriptures and come aboard. You're supposed to be silent and taking notes, right? But if you do have a husband that knows the truth and that is actively teaching, or then you're supposed to ask them questions, right? That's order, right? That's proper order. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 reads, let the woman learn in silence with all suggestion. Verse 12, thou suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Verse 13, for Adam was first formed than Eve. Verse 14, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. Right. So women are supposed to be in subjection, and they're not supposed to be teaching. That's what you call proper order. You know, Yahushua, he didn't have any women that was teaching, or he didn't have any women that were disciples, because you know they're not supposed to be disciples. They're easily manipulated, and they'll go by their emotions. And you have in today's society, you have a lot of women that just want to be in everything a man, a woman. They see this Western culture have both of these women to be like gods, and they're not. You you have a lot of women that think they're gods, which they're not. And all this is because of the Western culture, America, right? So there's Sarah. Bear with me. That's 1, 2, 3, chapter 2. Sirach 26. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. Right. So, it's good to be silent. A silent and loving woman is, that's something we all, crave for, a silent and loving woman, because when you have a woman that's out of control and that don't like to listen to order or don't like to be put in line, that's a reason why we are in the situation we're in right now with because going back to Adam and Eve, the Eve being Eve being Eve transgressed the law, and she, like I mentioned um like I mentioned before, she wasn't supposed to be even speaking with she wasn't even supposed to be speaking with Esau um without having Adam present. You know, there this is Book of Sirach chapter 25. No, chapter 25, verse 24. I'm gonna end it here. This is the Book of Sirach chapter 25, verse 24, and it reads, the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Right? So there's so the Bible speaks heavily about the woman about the woman needing to be in order, right? So again, if you're a new sister, or you're a new Aquaf, or you're a new Akim, or you're a new brother in the church, you have to be in that proper. You have to be in order. Do not step out of line, because if you do, you're not gonna last very long. And it's the truth. All right. So again, the title is "There's Order in This Ministry. Don't Step Out of Line." Kakam Rakah, and I'll give all honor and glory and praises to Yahawah BAHASHAM, Yahawah BAHASHAM, QADASH. Until next time, I want to say Shalom.